All right. Hello, everybody. It is your best friend Justin from J Master Productions. Today, I have a very special edition of the podcast here. I actually have a good friend of mine, Mr. Rami, joining me today. Say hi to the nice people, Rami.
Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Rami,
Yeah, not sure.
Justin's good friend.
Yeah, not sure. He's appearing as like a little white box for whatever reason, so I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see his face or whatever. But he's
So right now you guys can't see me.
yeah. Even
Um,
even if I like maximize it.
okay.
I don't know, that's weird. Maybe I'll have to do it another way next time. But anyway, as long as we get the audio, that's what's important. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, we actually wanted to talk a little bit more about the Grammys because I made a video yesterday about it. If you haven't watched it, please check that out. And I didn't touch on Nicki Minaj because, funny enough, the other day she was appearing all over my X feed, and she was just going off about the pedophilia going on in Hollywood and how Hollywood people are so sick and they do all these rituals and she's a child of God now and she's a Christian and she's very pro Trump and she's using a lot of conservative talking points now. So it's very interesting how this woman, Nicki Minaj of all people, she also went on a thing. I don't know if you saw with Erica Kirk. I don't know what it was exactly. Some sort of interview in front of an audience, and it was just really cringe, man. It just looked fake. Erica Kirk has been very suspect ever since Kirk got so-called assassinated. And then
Yeah.
that was the first time I saw I was like, whoa, Nicki Minaj went like this woke version, this conservative woke version. And of course, me and you know that this isn't really her doing it. They're just trying to see who they can sucker in, and the
Yeah.
conservative people are obviously going to support her. And it's funny because of all the stuff she's done in her past, and she doesn't seem like someone who would support Trump and whatnot. But she's getting older, right? This is probably her like character transformation or whatever that they're doing with her. So yeah, man, it's really interesting how they have this going on. And funny enough, it was going all over my X feed, and Nicki Minaj has never popped up on my X feed before. So it goes to show how the algorithm targets you a certain way.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the algorithm thinks that I'll fall victim to it and get in support of her and start following her more, or whatever they think. And some people that might work, and there's people like me, and of course plenty of others who can see through the bullshit. But yeah, man, what do you think about everything that's kind of been going on here? Because I know there's been a lot of talk about it.
Well, I think that whole Nicki Minaj thing is kind of hilarious. Really, it's funny to me, dude. Like now all of a sudden she's for Trump. Now all of a sudden, like what? It's kind of out of left field, and I do see myself there now.
Yeah, all right.
Really got that working.
I think I have a better way actually of showing you. But yeah, keep going.
I think it's hilarious. I don't know. It's funny. Obviously it's all a dog and pony show. I don't know why all of a sudden she's for Trump now. It's weird. All of a sudden her handlers, whoever, now decided that she should be on Trump's side.
Yeah.
And Trevor Noah, the host of the Grammys of 2026 that just happened, was making jokes about her and stuff. She was like, she wasn't there. She wasn't at the Grammys, right? She wasn't there. And so Trevor Noah made a joke. He was like, "Oh, she's probably at the White House now with Trump and
Yeah.
hanging out with him." And
Yeah.
he made a joke. He was doing a Trump impression. He was like, "Oh, I have a much bigger ass than you, Nicki Minaj." Just trying to like so it was so cringe, dude.
Yeah,
Like
it's all really cringe, bro. And a
edgy
lot of
leftist humor is not. It's cringe.
it is. No,
Edgy.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. And really,
Yeah.
what they're doing is they're purposely trying to piss conservatives off. People who lean that way, even they're intentionally doing it. And then the idiots who support liberal stuff are just going to be in support of what these celebrities do. So it's about divide, obviously, but
Yeah.
more so beyond that, man. It's just really ridiculous to me how people can see through any of this bullshit, or like they fall for it, or people let it get them emotionally, like they get wrapped up into it. And I
That's the point. Right.
can,
That's the whole point.
yeah, and I just feel like we're out of time because, of course, we've talked about, off air, and then even I mentioned it in my last video that Hollywood and these award shows or whatever, they're not doing as well. as they have been. They've seen their better days because now it's more so like social media influencers and streamers that kind of became a bigger thing. But
Absolutely.
there's still people obviously who look at the Hollywood stuff, and then on top of that too, Hollywood has been exposed a lot the past 10 years, kind of starting with Pizzagate in like 2016, and that kind of woke me up, when I started looking into truth, some years ago. That whole thing really woke me up a lot, and it was a controlled thing, of course, but they kind of transitioned into like QAnon, and then Biden came into presidency, and then the liberals looked crazy, and then conservatives looked like the good guys, and we obviously see fast forward, and we see that's not the case, but it's just really interesting to see how the powers that be unfold their agendas and how they reveal themselves, and yeah, how like even it's become mainstream, as we spoke about also off air, how truth is basically a lot of truth is mainstream now. It's mixed with lies, so people don't really go all the way. That's the problem, is it stops people from going all the way because they get wrapped up in things that quite frankly don't really matter.
People think it's all the Jews.
Yeah, and
People think
that's another huge thing about
like
it. Yeah.
like anti-Semitism has been. I'm a Jew, right? Born and raised.
Yeah.
Um, Anti-Semitism has always been a thing, right? But lately, like it's rampant. It's insane. And you have all these people on Instagram I'm seeing now are like pro Hitler.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe it, dude. Like,
Yeah,
damn, like Hitler
52,
was right.
dude, 52% of Americans identify basically as anti-Jewish, or they don't like Jews, basically.
Is it that high? Wow, I didn't
Yeah,
know it was
it's
that high.
over half now of the population.
Jesus. How did we get here? I mean,
Yeah, it's again, it's really interesting because let's just say, I don't know, 4 years ago, this was not a thing at all. You could,
no,
you wouldn't be allowed to be saying any of these things that are going on.
no. Mm,
It was like in 2024. I feel like you started seeing it, and then fast forward a year later, it became mainstream. Yeah, and it started with the micro influencers, who I've talked about all year last year, and they're still very prevalent now, which is like Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Jake Shields, Candace Owens, like these influencers who are there. Once people can get past politics and they start looking into truth, they come across these people, because they're the new alt media. That's really what they are. They're the alt media. They're the new like Alex Jones, and everyone who knows Alex Jones, who's followed him, we all know he's bought and paid for at this point, because he's pro Trump, and he's making his fans believe politics is real. Um, so yeah, anyway, it's really interesting, and now it's like I think what's going to happen is I don't know if you saw this, and I'm not sure where it's from, either World Economic Forum or one of those private corporations. They said like on TikTok, because the USA bought it, the app, that you can't say anything anti-Semitic unless
yeah,
it's in a good sense.
yeah.
Um, so that, and again, there's probably a lot of people that might agree with that, but then of course most people I would assume don't agree with that, considering how people are anti that particular nation.
I don't agree. No, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't agree either, because of course when you give these people an inch, they'll take a yard. They're just using the Jewish thing as a scapegoat. They don't care about Jews. It's not really Jews that control the world. Is Zionism an issue and all that? Yes, but it's not really Jews that control the world. Now they want you to think that. That's why they let it run rampant, because they want people thinking that. And again, it's become normal. Like your average dude at the gym is talking about how Jews run the world and stuff to me.
Yeah.
And like I try to get him to look deeper, but he can't see it. Maybe he'll get there one day, because he's a little younger. He's like our sibling age. He's like early 20s. So he's a younger guy. Like he's kind of just waking up, and he's falling prey to that conservative stuff and the anti-Jew stuff, which is all right. All right, he's waking up. Like maybe he'll get past it one day. But yeah, man, my point is it's become normal, and it's gonna start off with you can't say anything bad about Jews, and it's gonna be like you can't say anything bad about black people, gay people, that you can't say anything bad about this political party, and before you know it, you're both sides, no matter what, are gonna be censored, and they're not gonna be able to say anything, no matter what their political beliefs are, and that's the bigger picture that a lot of people miss, unfortunately.
Is yeah, all that.
Right. So I pulled up this X thing here just so people can kind of read Nicki Minaj's tweets, because I know we started off Speaking about
I see Chunky
her.
drinking martini.
Yeah, I don't know why she keeps posting Chucky. Like, maybe there's some
Is that? Oh, that's
subliminal
Nicki
message.
Minaj. Okay, sorry, a little bit blurry.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's the point? What's she trying to say there? Like it's.
dude, I don't know. I don't know exactly. There's probably some message, but Chucky is not like a good guy. So, yeah. Have you seen the stuff with Nicki Minaj and her alt personality called Roman?
No,
No. Okay. It's
maybe pull up a clip or something.
yeah. I can actually, but I'll give you some context of it. Basically, she says she has an alternate personality, like a split personality, and her second personality is a guy named Roman.
Roman is a crazy boy
Good.
who lives in me. And he says the things that I don't want to say.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame everything.
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I asked him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him up. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
In other words, what she's telling you is that she's been through MK Ultra, right? She's been tormented and tortured and put through rituals herself and shit. Because again, for those of you who don't know, like all these celebrities are related somehow. A lot of them are occult bloodlines. I'm sure some of them aren't, but for the most part, a lot of them are distantly related to each other. And that's how the occult operates, and that's how they've kept their bloodline pure, and that's how they keep their occult secrets and how they keep operating in such secrecy is because all these people somehow some way are related. Um, so and they operate by a code. These people, right? They do really sick things. They want sick things to happen in the world. But the reason why they get what they want a lot is because they're very unified, which is obviously what the 99% of us are not. We are not unified one bit at all. We can't agree on anything. And that's why these elites just keep getting away with what they do because they use people like Nicki Minaj or whatever and they push agendas, and the people fall for it. You can get as mad as you want with the powers that be, but really it's the people that are falling for everything, and that's what's really annoying. That's what's really aggravating is that we're doing this to ourselves because people just refuse to see things for what they are. Maybe the world will get better. I hope it does, but just how things look now, we're basically going to head right into a digital prison. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like
It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. And I want to expand on what you said about the unification and stuff. Like that's what it is, bro. Like even though they're so evil and wicked and horrible, they're unified. They are in agreement. They're in congruence, which is why we are where we are, and that's why they are where they are. It's
yeah.
you know, and look at us. We're so divided. We're fighting over politics, right and left, and Republicans right, left is wrong, left is right, right is wrong. Like so, that's really what it all comes down to is the community and unification.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah. And that's obviously something that pretty much all of us are not. A lot of us are not willing to even have these conversations. What is this just saying? Your meeting will end in 10 minutes. Huh. Yeah, by the way, I think because I don't pay for this, that I have a time limit. So if it does,
I didn't know you had to pay for Zoom. Shit.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Yeah.
You can use it for free, but I think if you want to actually get the full benefit of it, you got to pay for it, which I'm not going to do. But yeah, if it does like randomly end, I could just start a new one. Like I'll stop recording and then start a new one. So if it lets me. But anyway, we'll try to get in what we got to say here. Yeah, we just really wish people, because me and Rami are both 29. You know, we're of the up and coming generation. We are the future, and a lot of people in our generation, it actually seems like, more specifically, of course, men, like younger men, have kind of woken up a little bit, somewhat, to what's going on. But they fall down these hyper masculine rabbit holes, like Nick Fuentes, or a lot of the red pill stuff, like the red pill dating. And I'm sure you noticed this, Rami, because me and Rami used to watch it, and I've explained on my channel before how I used to watch that all the time. um, kind of makes you hate women. Not kind of, it does. It makes you not like women. It makes you want to put them in a weaker position and you in like a dominator position.
It is toxic. It is definitely very toxic. A lot of the red pill community, yeah, very toxic.
Yeah,
You know, if you don't have an open mind and you listen to it, you're going to turn. A lot of people turn black pill and end up hating women, and that is not a route you want to go down.
right. Yeah, and it's completely wrong. It's like the thing about red pill is what they preach is that women are biologically like this. They're just naturally the way, bad people, pretty much, like they're evil, and they're very irrational, and all that stuff. And yeah, it is true that the modern woman is like that, but it's because of social engineering and, I think something called epiogenics, which is like where you manipulate people's genes just by their environment and all that. And that's obviously a very deep, rabbit hole. We're not going to get into that, but just to like paint a broad picture.
Building the best human possible. Apparently, Epstein was into that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not surprised. They're all, into
You
eugenics.
know,
Like, Bill Gates is pretty open about it with his vaccines, how he's into that. Um, yeah, man. So what we're trying to say is that the modern woman, and of course the modern man as well, but more so the women, have since today they've been, uh, born in this world, they've been taught to be and act a certain way and look at things a certain way, and their whole value system is pretty immoral. Actually, it's all about money, and then I would say even more now when it comes to men, because a lot of women are working and have college degrees. Now it's all about like your attractiveness, your height, physical things and all that. Maybe even how much, clout you might have on social media if you're like kind of famous on social media. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's not a good thing, but it's interesting how this dynamic is. And me and Rami are right in it. Like we are, again, we're 29. We see it all. From girls a little younger than us, a little older than us, our age exactly. Like, we're the social media generation, and that's another thing that's severely divided people, because people aren't interacting as much, not having intimate or platonic relationships as much as in the past. So yeah, I've said a lot. We have a lot of work to do as people, and all me and Rami can really do is try to get the message out there. It's people got to be receptive of it, and, we're just trying to do what we can while we still have freedom of speech. Because freedom of speech is really on life support right now.
where do you see that going? Like, obviously, we have the Constitution, the First Amendment. Do you think like that's pretty like a strong thing, right? Do you see that going away at one point? Like the First Amendment just, I mean, like you know,
Yeah, I mean, I think they would have better luck with that than, with the guns, like taking guns away from people. Because
you think so?
yeah, because people don't realize. Like, I think it would be more hard to take guns away from people than the freedom of speech, because people just
I agree.
because it's like a synthesis, right? Like people just don't see it. It's like the conservatives have been on this high because Trump's in power, and it's like they're like the big guys on the block now, and they're just like owning the libs and kicking their ass. Ha ha, look at that. It's immature. And then the same thing happens when liberal people are in power. Like whatever they're trying to push, it gets bigger, and the other side gets censored more. And they censor things slowly over time on both sides. So, and then it just comes to a point where you can't say certain things, because it's
Yeah.
hateful. And it really depends on if people allow it. The government is going to justify it, is going to sell it like it's the best thing ever. And it just, if the people want to accept it, then we're screwed. But if the people push back, then it's going to buy us more time. And if people woke up, that would be even better. And then we can really maybe change things, if people put things into action that they learn. So yeah, as you can see right here on X, it's just like, Grok, right? AI thing that Elon Musk has?
I'm not on X too much, but I've heard of Brock. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the AI on X. So people always ask it shit. So for example, here it's like you see Epstein here. There's Trump here. I don't know who all these people are. I see
That's
over there.
to right of Trump looks like Ghislaine. I can't tell.
Yeah, I see Oprah right there in the back. Anyway,
Of
he
course.
says, "Hey Grok, remove the people in this photo who never went to Epstein Island." So let's see what happens. And people have been doing this a lot, like all different like scenarios.
And that's it. That's it right there.
Oh look, he removed Trump.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Let's see if there's more. Yeah, it has Trump gone. Obviously, we all know
Yeah.
he went to Epstein Island. They were good friends. No secret about it.
Oh,
And that's
dude, have you been keeping up with the files, the emails and stuff?
not too much. No, I've seen some of them though.
Man, I should have sent you some of the screenshots, but like, I mean, there's some very revealing, obvious stuff.
Well, they're using code
Um,
words when they speak, right? Or do they say things like ice cream and pizza and like?
Not always, not always. They're like pretty blatant sometimes. Let me I have it on my phone here. I know you're talking about in your video, like you mentioned in your recent video that the Epstein stuff is more just how did you word it? More just a form of control, right? A distraction, all
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
But it's still revealing, and still I think a lot of stuff is legitimate. And so I follow this guy here who all he does is pretty much post Epstein stuff, emails, just in the nick of crime.
Yeah.
You should follow him. He's good. He doesn't just post Epstein stuff. He posts a bunch of stuff about child victim crime stuff, and he exposes a lot of people. And he is someone you should follow.
Okay.
So like this one is there's so much stuff redacted. It's crazy. From blank to Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. Like even just saying that makes me sick.
Yeah.
Like um more redacted stuff. Larry Summers. You can look up these people. They're all prominent. We'll call you or tonight at some point. We'll be visiting Mar-a-Lago, Trump's hometown. Trump's house in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Sending you some images of me pregnant and baby shower. Let me know next time when you are in Los Angeles. I have a few girlfriends with me now, so whatever, should have some girly time. Just weird stuff. From Mark Trano, who I believe works at Harvard. Hope this will make your day as you are so interested in children. Like back from 2010, 09. Jeffrey Epstein replies to this guy, there are millions of babies, but very little good vegetable cream cheese. Like, who says that?
Yeah, it's
Anyway, like, let me get back to the screen here.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, I'm not saying that it's not true. That
I
they're
know.
not saying those things and they don't speak in code words or whatever. But the thing is that obviously the government is controlling this, so-called conspiracy theory or whatever. What happened here?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one sec. I just gotta remove this thing. Yeah, but obviously the government is controlling the narrative, and they're letting certain things. They're exposing themselves, right? They're completely exposing themselves, whether these are real or not. They do communicate in code like that, but they could very well be forging these, just to see how people react, or just to see, what the public would say. And that's kind of my whole point. Is the whole thing is like is basically a controlled narrative. Not that it's like not important or whatever. It's like people should understand it, but I feel like a lot of people now, especially those who really aren't, awake so much, I would say, are spending too much time in it. And it's been such a big talk for a long time. The Jeffrey Epstein thing. It's been almost 10 years really since it's been in conversation. And yeah, man, it's just. But what's interesting though, really about the whole thing is, all right, they can expose themselves probably as much as they want, and people just don't really do anything about it. Are you still sharing your screen, by the way?
Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah, just end that so that you could show yourself. But yeah, I mean that's what I think about it. The whole thing is, I haven't even looked too deep into it. I haven't really made too much content at all, even talking about it, just because I really always thought it was a really big distraction. But if you know about Hollywood and all the sick stuff there, it's the same thing with the politicians and all these prominent people who in power, these rich people. It's just showing the typical stuff that these rich people are doing sus things. These rich people are who are in control of a lot of stuff and have prominent positions of power keep getting caught doing criminal activities really behind the scenes or just sick things that would make people's heads spin and want to do bad things and some violent things to these people. So yeah, that's really my whole outlook on it. But yeah, the emails for sure, like they definitely communicate in code that way.
I mean, I've never seen it such blatant. But it's not just all code. Some of it's blatant. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know if these are again legit or not, forged emails or whatever, just trying to literally expose it and just get a reaction out of people. We don't know. But what I know for sure is it is true. What everything they're accused of is true. And they're just taking the narrative and kind of spinning it into like, oh, they just dangle it over people's heads, like, oh, we're gonna release the files, no, we're not gonna release it. Oh, yes, we are, and then they barely release anything. And then it kind of becomes a Jewish thing where there was something about Epstein talking about Jews controlling the world, or they spin it into all these things. Um, so yeah, I mean, you guys who are watching this, if you are still watching, please let us know what you think about the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. If you think this is a really big concern, what you think about it, where you think it's going to go, and why they even let it all get out to the public in the first place. But the last thing we want to talk about, because we're going to start to wrap it up here, is I'm not sure, and this is really important, but JD Vance, the vice president, was in an interview. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or a few days ago, and he's talking about how Trump, what his plan is now is to bring in the New World Order. And JD Vance is talking about Trump is planning to bring in a New World Order. New World Order this, New World Order that. They're openly saying it. There was another guy from a clip that I showed him, not my previous video, but one of my most recent videos. I don't even know who the dude was, but they're talking about establishing a New World Order. That's really their goal, and they're being really open with it now. So it's interesting how they're talking about these things. It's you Google New World Order, it's still dubbed a conspiracy theory by Wikipedia, and that's really all the research people have to do because you talk about it or I talk about it, we're crazy. But if these people talk about it, oh yeah, New World Order, yeah. So it's really incredible the way people think. Still there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you think about it? What he said?
It reminds me of when Ronald Reagan, I think, or was it Reagan, said the same thing? We're going into a new world order.
George
Have you ever seen that
H.W.
clip?
Bush, probably.
Maybe H.W. Bush. I mean, we all know what the new world order is. It's mind blowing to me that he's just saying it so blatantly like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Biden even talked about it one time, I think in like 2011 or some shit. He talked about how that's their goal as well. So I mean, it's really, really obvious that the left and right are two wings on the same bird, and they work together. And I don't know, man. It's really a simple thing, but it's too much for the average everyday person to like grasp and really like make a change mentally and stop focusing on it, stop listening to them, stop casting in a vote, stop giving these people your time, money, and energy. But
That's what it is. Yeah. At the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, like, and you know this, like, it's not so much about money, right? You know, they're making their money. It's about the sick need for control, this
Yeah,
obsession. That's I think the end game, right? You know,
yeah,
as much control as possible.
yeah.
You know,
And they want a digital prison, which is, as I've been talking about a lot lately, we're walking right into that. And a lot of people are just blindly doing it. No one's really doing enough about it. And again, I know it stems from most people just don't understand these things. The problem is though is because there's been like a false great awakening that's kind of happened where a lot of truth has been exposed and it's like a lot of it has become mainstream. It's like not enough people are really doing anything about it. Um, Even if they do know, it's like, all right, more people know than actually do anything about it or try to like talk to people about it or make any sort of sense about it to people because, it's uncomfortable, right? Like you sound crazy, like maybe people are going to stop wanting to hang out with you, family might look at you weird. But it's important because maybe even if you can just plant some seeds, they'll probably never understand right when you first explain it. But if you can just plant some seeds, maybe that'll grow into something in the future. Because yes, it can get very discouraging, when you try to talk about these things and people aren't receptive to it, and it's frustrating even more when they maybe do understand, but they have some sort of excuse where they still might think that some politician is going to come in, or they still might believe in government, or you just have to give your life to Jesus Christ or one of these things. So people really, I guess the deeper issue is people want to outsource the responsibility they have to someone or something else so that they don't have to do it. And it's hard, man. It's hard to like re-educate yourself and realize you were wrong about stuff and because it's scary, right? It's a scary thing, and a lot of people don't want to put themselves through that. But if you have any self-respect, if you care about truth, if you don't want to be a dummy and you don't want to be a fool, you would make the time and however it is to kind of look into these things because it's easy now. We have the internet, but there's going to come a day where the internet is probably completely controlled and these things aren't going to be out there. Mark Passio's site, for example, like there might be a day where you won't be able to access that because they have full control of the internet as opposed to just like a site, because that's really their goal. But yeah, that's really all I'm going to say is people need to wake up. It's a real shame that people haven't. It's a real shame not enough people do anything. We can clearly see the dollar's not worth anything. I don't know why people still want to show up at work and on top of that pay taxes and get paid in something that's worthless. I don't know, because people don't like their jobs. You ask the average person, they don't like their job. They're there for money. They're not there because they're thrilled. They want to be. They're there because they need money to pay bills. And all of us live a miserable life anyway, of just in survival mode, paying bills, showing up to a job we don't like 50 hours a week, maybe being around people we hate 50 hours a week. And we have no time really to really look into things that are important. And then there's endless distractions on top of that. That can go on forever, the distractions. So, a lot of it is not the average person's fault, right? They weren't meant to know truth. But when truth is really staring them in the face, like how it is in 2026, with things being really obvious now, um, people really need to start doing some research. It was easier to have some empathy maybe 6 years ago when none of this stuff was like prevalent, but now it's getting a little tougher because the information's out there now, and people just gotta do it themselves. So I'll wrap it up with that, and whatever you want to finish on saying, Rami, I'll let you finish it up here.
No, not you used to have to really dig for this stuff. The stuff we're talking about, the stuff that you see, all this Epstein stuff, like all that stuff, the horrible things they do. You used to have to really dig for that. Now it's just CNN and Fox News is reporting on this stuff. It's mainstream news. It's crazy. And I don't know. I don't got much else to say. Justin, wanna
Yeah,
close out for us?
if you're still watching, we really appreciate it. Our social medias will both be in the description box below, so please give us a follow. Also, like the video, comment what you guys think, share it around. Subscribe if I hadn't said it already. And we will see you guys in the next one. Let us know what topics you want us to discuss. And if anyone does want to join us, feel free to reach out to one of us about that. Hope everyone has a good rest of their